Hello, Lucas Nation fans. Welcome back to another exciting Lucas Chat podcast with your host, Kennedy Lucas, here at Whole Stream Studios. Of course, we're back with another podcast for this weekend. I'm really excited about this topic. This topic came across my desk, and I'm really excited to talk about it. Of course, we're going to dabble down to the podcast in just a few seconds, but by the time, this podcast is out, it's going to be a little bit the next weekend. Of course, let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons real quick. So if my big brother is listening to this podcast, big shout out to him. Of course, check him out. He does his podcasting and he's on YouTube. But I wanted to give him a shout out because, as you guys know, the company of Whole Stream Studios and KLP Entertainment, our headquarters is here in Atlanta. Of course, I am really proud of our Atlanta Falcons going to the Super Bowl. And that's a huge accomplishment. It's been a minute since they've been out there, and it's been a minute since they gone to the Super Bowl. Now, I'm not really a huge football fan, but I root for the team and I root for the city that I love. But boy, oh boy, they choked in the game. Let's just be honest. They were up winning. Think a couple friends were telling me it was 20-3. I think that was the first half of the game score. And then they choked up and they lost the Super Bowl. So it's a bit of a sad disappointment, a little bit for us as Atlanta Georgians. But I'm sure they're gonna come back again next year, hopefully, and we'll see what they do for next year, of course, because they have to make sure it's big, because we are getting a lot of stuff here, and there's a lot of great opportunities here in Atlanta as well. So hopefully they come back and they strive to be the best at it. Real quick, before we get down to this podcast, I know we're talking about this certain topic, but a huge sponsor to Inspiron Gaming from KLP Entertainment. Of course, we started back up our gaming channel, so check us out. It is twitch.tv/Inspiron Gaming. I will have that in the link description below as well, so check us out on that, and you guys can see our great gaming video. And of course, Lucas Chat Podcast is a proud sponsor for Inspiron Gaming. Of course, me and Tyrus, we're going to be doing a lot more gameplay and putting it out as the podcast and also on Twitch as well over at Inspiron Gaming. So it's a neat opportunity. Of course, I'm going to be talking about it in the future weekend vlog. So let's get down to this topic. Of course, really excited about this topic because, of course, this has something to do with anime. This is our selective feature for an anime. Of course, we're going to be rebooting the website with all new anime coming up really soon. But of course, I wanted to talk about Dragon Ball Super. Now, this show is tight as hell. This show really got me going. We are on episode, I think 5 for English dub, and there's 70. They're on episode 74 for subbed. Of course, I don't care to watch sub because I tell most of the people I follow, and both the people who follow me, I say to them, when I watch anime, it has to be in English dub so I can listen and actually enjoy the show. Some of my friends actually prefer it to be subbed, so they like to read it. If I read it, I tend to lose focus of the actual graphic style and how it's formed, and I lose focus of it. So I have to watch it in English because it's more easier for me. Of course, this is kind of along the lines after. It's going back to the first movie, of course. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods was the first movie, first new movie at that, to be released out for our modern generation. Of course, it came out in 2014, I believe. Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods came out in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, the next following year, they had another movie, Resurrection F. It's really good. They kind of went back a little bit. It's not after the baby saga where Goku can turn Super Saiyan 4. They kind of went back a little bit after the days of fighting Majin Buu, and they kind of went on there and they're retelling the story. This story is completely new, but this was a good angle they were working with because, of course, the new video games that were coming out for Dragon Ball Z, you see them all over, of course, as Xenoverse 1 and 2 and Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z, which I do have to my collection. So they really trying to rebrand the movies and the series out because people are real die-hard anime fans. So I'm really a good anime fan, and I'm really glad that they really thought this one thoroughly, and this works. It is on Toonami right now, so you guys can check it. Toonami has been advertising it and getting it out there. It's been out there. So um, of course they had a couple of mangas, but it was written by Akira Tayama, if I pronounced that last name right. Illustrated by Toyo Taro. And of course, its English publisher is Viz Media. Viz Media is really good. Is a good company to publish because quite a few animes that I actually like, they were produced and picked up by Viz Media. I think I actually follow Viz Media on Instagram as well, so go check them out because their Instagram page is really good. It's just really good. Now this episode here, it has a lot of episodes, up to about 76 episodes. So this is going to be a long, ongoing anime that I'm watching. Of course, I'm getting word now. It's 77 episodes long. So that's what 5 seasons of Dragon Ball's of original anime, if I'm not mistaken. So this is really good. So of course, the art style of this anime is awesome. I don't have a problem with it. The fight style is really, really good. The anime style is good. They do a really good job, and it's not so old-fashioned. I thought they were going to be old-fashioned with this anime, but it's completely not old-fashioned for this type of anime to come out this year, and it's just really good. Of course, the characters, they got a little bit more funny. Back in the day, they had several versions of Dragon Ball Z. They had several voice actors to play different characters of Dragon Ball Z. So I think out of most of all Dragon Ball Z series that I've watched, I think this series is the best. Not even gonna relate on the Dragon Ball Kai series because it sucked really. It came on and it was Dragon Ball Kai. They advertised it well. I just didn't like it because I didn't like the comedic. It wasn't comedic. It was really bland. It was kind of watered down. It was kind of babied down a little bit. So to be out for Nickelodeon, I think is what they picked it up for Nickelodeon. So that anime sucked, to be honest. And I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate comments in the description below, but I don't find Dragon Ball Kai a good anime, to be honest. But they came back and they really reamped it, and Dragon Ball Super, the name even just sounds kind of cool. There's just so much that goes into this. Of course, you get introduced of Whis and Beerus. Now, those are the two characters from both two movies, so they're fairly new characters to the Dragon Ball Z saga. They're also getting added into the series as well. So it's re-diversifying and redoing the movie, but it's cutting it up into episodes. If you watch the first 10 episodes, of course, that's Dragon Ball Z Battle of God movie. It's the same, it's similar, Bulma's birthday. What's different in the movie, that Bulma's birthday is celebrated at her house in the movie. Now, in the show, she gets on a cruise ship and she celebrates her birthday on a cruise ship. So they switched it up a little bit. Of course, if you watch the movie and you've seen the episodes, of course, at her birthday, she's giving away a mansion for one of the prizes at her birthday. Of course, there's 2 different mansions in the movie and the episodes. The style looks different. So, if you've seen the movie, you could relate. Oh, I remember when this happened. Oh, this happened also in the movie. Oh, this happened in the movie as well. And I think it was a real cool idea for them to do that, because I never thought they would do something like that. But it's really cool that they sort of switched it up a bit, and they're changing it up, and it looks like this, and it's really good. Of course, Vegeta he's a laid back character in the show. He's more comedic than he is serious in the show. Of course, he used to be this. He kind of still is. He's more of this badass character in the older anime Dragon Ball Z series, and of course in the older movies, he's badass, tough, hard, character. But in this movie, he's still tough, but he's a little bit laid back a little bit. He cares more to his son, Trunks. Back in the old anime series, he didn't really care so much about his son, but now in this series, he cares more. Goku is still a deadbeat dad. The reason why I say that, because if you've seen the first episode, he just leaves Chi-Chi and Goten, and just leaves him to go train and just say, oh, okay, I got some money, and here you go. All right, I'm out, I'm bouncing. So it's just weird. It's funny but weird. Gohan, I don't really. His character, of course, and he's like this everywhere. He's not as strong as the other characters now that he's grown up and he doesn't fight anymore. When he was a little teen, he was a cool teen for an anime series, but now, him growing up is just he doesn't even want to fight anymore. He's done with that life. He's about the grown up life. So it's really really cool. Of course, you see more of Android. I believe her name is 18, Android 18. She marries Krillin. You see her more in this anime series than you would ever, because back in the old anime series where Krillin and Android 18 got married, you don't really hear from her character. You don't really hear her character back in the old series, but in this series, she's a lot. You hear her a lot. I think, all the voice actors are played by the same character, except for Bulma. They changed Bulma up a bit. I think Monica Rial is playing Bulma in the newer series, which is good. It really suits her. Her voice, it really suits her character. But I think Sean Chimble and Christopher Sobek and Sonny Strahan, if I pronounce his last name right. Of course, they're the original voice actors. Of course, are gonna they have that out. Of course, this show is out for Toonami, of course, parted by Adult Swim and Cartoon Network. So the runtime is still present. Came out of July for sub, but now it released in January 7th, I believe. January 7th is where they released it for dub version, because I remember it was a Saturday and I was in that production, so I was able to get some free time down and really sit down and watch the show. Of course, it's licensed by Funimation. Funimation, ain't really too much I can say about Funimation. I love Funimation, so I think they do the best anime. It's studio by Toei Animation. Of course, that's an animation company that does mostly the fighting kind of anime. You don't really see them do much of the fan service or the romantic slice of life anime. So yeah, please, you guys, go check this show out. Again, that's pretty much the plot. Of course, Goku works as a farmer. You see this in the first episode. Of course, he works as a farmer at the beginning of the episode to provide for his family. Of course, after he fought Majin Buu and Cell and all that, Mr. Satan is what I like to call him. He gives Goku 100 million zeni. I guess that's Japanese currency, I guess. 100 million, so that way he doesn't have to work. And he gave it to Chi-Chi to support the family so he can go out and go train with King Kai. Of course, that's when Beerus and Whis comes in. They're looking for the Super Saiyan God. Of course, this is just like the movie. Except for the beginning, because in the movie they didn't express that he was a farmer. In the movie, they just got right into him training. So, the show gives you a little bit more backstory. So, the training, of course, Beerus comes up, and then they're gonna start fighting, and then it's gonna relieve to the relieve just like the movie, of course, and then Resurrection F comes next in the series, of course, and there's a little bit more towards the end of the show. So I can't wait to see the future development of the show, because this show is gonna be really good. This is our featured anime service for our KLP network. Of course, it's an ongoing series, so I have to wait for the next new episode to come out and the next step to come out. So it's gonna be really, really awesome. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. Real quick, please be sure to follow Inspiron Gaming on twitch.tv/Inspiron Gaming. I will have it in the link description below. To follow that, that's our new gaming channel. It's gonna be really, really awesome. It's popping off really well. Please be sure to follow us on SoundCloud. Of course, SoundCloud is our proud sponsor for our podcast. And if you have not followed KLP Photography, Host Stream Studios, KLP Entertainment on Facebook, Instagram, what are you waiting for? Go follow us to see all the newest updates and see what we're working on. Of course, we're in the studio today. We're working on quite a few different projects for the week, so stay tuned because we got that coming up for you guys really soon. Of course, Tyrus will be back in the studio to talk about his next topic for the Lucas Chat podcast. And of course, we're just going to keep going. You know, season 6 is still ongoing and we're going strong with this season. So hopefully you guys enjoy the season. So, this has been the Lucas Chat podcast with your host, Kennedy Lucas over Dragon Ball Z Super. Hopefully you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. And I'm Kennedy Lucas, logging out.